everybody. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
So excited to see everybody.
So Heather told me what it's like right now in New England, but Deborah, what's the temperature like where you're at?
It's in the 80s.
Oh, it's so nice. It's 82 here and it's super humid, which is great because I don't want to water my plants. So I'm hoping it'll rain.
It's sunny outside. I like the cool weather though. When it's cool, I kind of like it.
This is so 85 is cool.
No, it's hot. I like it when
Oh,
it's
yeah. I was going to say, I'm like, that is not my definition of cool.
yeah, it's hot. It's cool for Hal, but not for me. I told him he's
It's
getting old because like now when I walk in the house, it feels hot. I remember when my mom had the house so hot. You know, the older you get, the hotter you like the house. It's like a nursing home in here.
it's 60 degrees. You guys have your accountees behind you. I have one too, but mine's not behind me. Hey Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, sorry
Nice
I'm
to see
late.
you.
I
It's okay.
clicked like 5 different links and I finally made it.
You're here
Yeah,
right on
we're-
time.
We're happy to see you. I actually was almost late because in New England, I live in Connecticut, and as those of you that are joining us from the Northeast know, it has been miserable. We've had the worst winter since 1978.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so yeah. Yeah.
Ours
So
is
anyway, so today
mild.
it's beautiful. It's like 60 degrees, but in my mind, it's like a beautiful 75. And so I have been outside lazing with my cats. They're laying in the sun. I'm laying in the sun. And so I almost missed it because I was outside laying in the sun. And I'm like, I have to go back in and do it.
You're laying in the sun like your cats.
I will absolutely 100%. You know that I am,
She was
Deborah. You
saying
know that I
earlier.
am laying on the ground with my cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so
Uh,
cool.
Mhm.
I'm jealous. They promised us 75 today, and I was speaking at a conference at Butler University, and it is like 62 and raining.
Oh,
Mm,
where is Butler?
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Okay.
okay.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Yep,
like
it was.
Indianapolis.
It, I enjoy it, but this time of year sucks. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be like 75 one day and then 30 and snowing the next day, but it was a good conference, entrepreneurship through acquisition and ETA conference. So
Ooh,
Wow.
about
Nate.
500 people
Nice.
looking to buy and sell businesses, and yeah, it's not public yet, so I can't talk about it. But we sold our firm last week, yeah. So I've now
You know
bought
that
and
we're
sold
broadcasting
multiple.
live, right?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but so anyway,
Just kidding.
not there yet. But we've now bought 3 businesses, 4 businesses, and I've sold 2 before this. So it's
Wow.
fun talking to people that are looking to buy and sell companies.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. Well, I think that, accountants are always in that mindset of we do have clients, which are our assets. And so everybody's always kind of in that when I do sell, or what will I, structure like whenever I sell. So I love, 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 love that conversation. And um when it becomes public, I'd love to talk more about it, Matt.
No, we're not there yet. We do buy and sell franchises.
All right. Well, everyone, you are in for a treat. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. But today's conversation is all about two firms that are doing some cool shit in the
Yes.
space of AI. And you're going to get to hear how they're doing it, what they're doing. And so, this is not a sponsored webinar. We can say what we've tried. We can talk about the products. There's, just everything kind of goes in this conversation. So anybody who's
Awesome.
got questions, feel free to put those in. But this is how two accounting firms have pressure tested and are pressure testing AI. So welcome, everyone.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, well, we're super excited to have you guys join us. But yes, for those of you, I think we know everybody that's here. I'm looking at everyone's here. Everyone's here. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Heather Satterley. I'm the Director of Education and Media at Woodard. I'm a CPA. I've been doing this a long time. And I'm super excited to be here with all of you amazing people. So thank you.
And I'm Liz Scott. And over the course of the last year and a half, we have implemented a lot of AI tools, put them in our firm, taken them out of our firm. Our firm is a boutique firm. So it allows us to have a lot of flexibility. But I think that what we're going to be hearing today is going to be some really cool insights. So, up first, Matt, do you want to tell us about Decimal and really your role? And I see Decimal as a firm that started off doing things differently, especially because of your background. So I won't share everything, but I'll just kind of set that premise and pass it over to you, Matt.
Well, you did way better than I can. Yeah. So I'm Matt Tate. I'm the CEO and founder of Decimal. We are a bookkeeping and tax franchisor, so we help people start their own firms. But you're right. We started our company to do bookkeeping and tax for small businesses. And the greatest gift that I gave myself and Decimal was we started a company where I was incapable of ever doing any work. So I'm not an accountant, I'm a recovering attorney. And so we started Decimal with kind of a tech first premise as former business owners trying to solve the problem of finding really good bookkeeping and tax support. And so whether it was, 2020, 2019, and just using integrated cloud-based technologies to today using all of that plus what we're building in AI, what we're using within products in AI, and trying to create the best client and firm experience we can using tools as much as possible.
I love that. And I love that you set up the foundation in a way that allowed you to run the business, not be in the business. So I think that that's a lot of things that an area that many of us that are entrepreneurs, own our own firms, do and never transition well is into that true management leadership spot. So kudos in that space. I want to also introduce Deborah. So you also do things very differently. And I love that you set this foundation for your clients to behave in a certain way, to interact with your business and your employees in a certain way. And it becomes this well oiled machine. So go ahead and share some insights as to how your firm operates and really your role.
Well, I became a CPA when I was 25 years old, and I worked at a CPA firm, and I thought it was the worst job I'd ever had and the most backward type of profession I ever worked in. So, tracking my thing for every 6 minutes, what they valued was how much time it took me to do something. And I thought, this can't be right. Because I grew up my dad was an accountant, and he ran our family based on the accounting of being a school teacher. He was a business manager for a school district. So he was an accountant. He did make a lot of money, but we had 4 kids and we did everything a family should do. And I thought, that's what accounting should be. What's the owner want to do, the business owner? And how can they take the bucket of money and create what they want to create? But that wasn't happening in the firm I was working in or in the profession. And in fact, I remember one time I took a job at a firm and I walked in and I said, where are your computers? Oh, we don't have computers. Why not? Because we couldn't charge the clients as much then.
Oh.
I thought, this is nuts. So I thought, I hate this job. So I quit. And I left the profession. I thought, this is backwards. So 20 years later, I meet Hal, who had a tax and accounting firm. And he goes, and I needed a job. And he goes, well, why don't you work with me? You're a CPA. I said, only if I can run an accounting firm like I want it to run. Technology first, clients first, no hourly billing, looking forward, being proactive, not reactive. And that was 25 years ago.
Wow.
And so that's how we've always run the firm. So all that, the greatest tools, technology. I mean, a lot of ladies like to go to shop for clothes. I shop for like gadgets. That's my fun thing where I like to spend money. In fact, my birthday year, for my birthday, when I first met Hal, he said, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, oh, would you like to buy me a piece of jewelry? Because he would have. And he goes, oh, I'll buy anything. I'll buy a piece of jewelry. I said, well, that's not what I want. I want to be a QuickBooks Pro advisor. That was my birthday present,
So I'm romantic.
I know that's what I wanted. So every year I get something accounting wise that I can use for myself. But so when AI started to come out, I thought, oh my gosh, it's like an intern without having an intern. It's
Mm.
sped up the process. So, we do a lot of bookkeeping and tax. How does all the tax? I always say how works one day a year. I work the other 364.
Hmm.
Because I'm about making the clients, what do you want from your business? If it was making $1 million, how would you spend it? What's important to you? So how can we make that happen? What it is you want? So how could I speed up my process to make their dreams happen? So of course things go sideways. I mean, I had a client the other day call up and say, my sales tax is wrong. Well, I used to spend half a day trying to figure out what invoice was wrong. Well, now I thought, okay, ChatGPT, I took the raw data, threw it up. Tell me which invoice is wrong. It came back. These 4 are incorrect. Here's great. Come up with an executive summary, what I need to tell the client. So I wrote it back to her and, she goes, oh, so what do I do? Right there, it tells me what to do. It literally took seconds, or it would have taken me, half a day before. Writing, I know I write articles now for the Woodard Report. They help me. It's like having my own editor. They're still my ideas. I'm still putting the judgments, the thoughts in, but I have a helper, an intern that I don't have to pay. Well, maybe I do pay for ChatGPT. What is it? The Teams version is what, $50 a month or something?
Yeah, it's cheap.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that I just love it. I've been a top 10 pro advisor, top 100 since they started. I mean, I just think that we can be more for our clients than just compliance officers.
Mhm.
How the AI takes care of the drudgery. Oh, I do host a podcast too called Bookkeepers on Fire with my friend Donna Reed. So make sure you subscribe, and share to that one too. but yeah, I just love how AI is it's making my life fun. It's making this job fun because we're taking the information and giving it meaning. And
Well, I have to say, I had reached a
I-
burnout point, and so AI really kind of energized my interest again in the profession.
Absolutely. I love what Deb just said about it's made it fun, because you're right. It's like we would have to do all of this number crunching, right? All this number crunching before we could get to the fun stuff, right?
Right.
We'd have to enter all the transactions. We'd have to categorize all the transactions, and we'd have to clean it up. And then we'd have to, pull out an Excel spreadsheet to get whatever crazy metric really our client needed. And then after all of that, we could have the conversation. And now with technology,
we don't have time to have the conversation at that point.
we didn't. No, it was,
True.
yeah.
Well,
and
I
people-
love that you two firms are both doing things differently, and I think that in this space of AI, I feel like that's why this is such an important conversation. Is there's a lot of firms out there that really want to move forward with AI, don't quite know how, don't know where to start. And so using both of your, just individual perspectives on the way that you view running a business, operating the business, working with the clients, I think that really has fueled this ability to embrace AI and then run with it. So I'm interested in digging into this conversation. All right.
Liz, as you jump in, one thing I wanted to say, because I think all 4 of us can agree, there's this execution gap we have right now in the industry of people know that they need to do something. They have the tools to do it. They have the classes, they have the coaching, the communities, but actually being able to do it is the
Mhm.
problem. And as AI continues to grow and improve, that gap is widening. And I think that's one of the things that all 4 of us and many of the people listening today who are already doing it is we've kind of all adapted our mission to say, hey, we want to help close that gap, whether it's
Yep.
big firms, small firms, just in general, make your life easier, get happy about it, and see what happens.
Well, it is scary to do too, because, we're so used to QuickBooks. And I remember, because I've been doing this since God was a boy, and when I started, we were on QuickBooks Desktop with the discs, remember? And then it moved to QuickBooks Online, and I was not going to move to QuickBooks Online. No way, no how. And then I saw the writing on the wall. And then when I used it for 3 weeks, I'm like, holy smokes,
Oh,
this is great.
yeah,
But then I
absolutely.
remember how scary it was to move from desktop to online. And I thought, you know what? This is the same feeling. You know, you just do it. It's scary to make a change. We're used to what we're used to. So we want to put it off, and we want to put it off. And I always try to think to myself, okay, I am willing to fail. And I think you have to be willing to fail. Now, the good
Yes.
news is,
I agree
if you
with
do
that.
something wrong in accounting, you don't die. You just go, oh, the worst that can happen is you might get a fine. Okay, pay it.
Hmm.
But you make mistakes happen. You don't make mistakes they're just mistakes. They're not on purposes. You know, so I thought, just be willing to try it. So we just decided that I was going to, you know, I went to scaling and I saw digits and puzzle and I went, holy smokes, my world exploded. And I thought, this is the future. You know, QuickBooks I love QuickBooks, but I was getting a little up to here with all the things they were doing. And I saw that puzzle and digits were like a breath of fresh air to me.
Mhm.
So I went to the panel. You know, Matt was on the panel with puzzle. And I'm looking at him going, oh my God, this guy has it all together. I tell you what. So he's going to puzzle. And I thought, then I'm going to go to digits, you know. Plus, when Donna and I started a YouTube channel called Debbie and Donna Do Digits, and it just had a ring to it.
Oh, it does.
So we decided to
Hands
go.
out.
We tried to do, you know, wanted to do digits because we thought that because of that gap, how do you go from X, you know, how do you make the jump? So we just said, we're going to do it. So I started to say, all right, new clients, they're coming on digits. I had a new client in this morning. She's has an event business. And I said, okay, well, we're going to put you on digits. I thought QuickBooks, we use digits. Now, I still use QuickBooks. You know, she doesn't have to know that. So we're going to put her on digits. And
So you made me want to stop and ask a question here. And I'm going to ask this to both of you. So open the can of worms right there. So Deborah, you're using digits. Matt, you're using puzzle. So one of my biggest
And
questions.
Rillet.
And
Rillet.
Rillet, yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about Rillet too, because that's one that a lot of people haven't heard about. So I want to ask you some questions about that here in a minute. But when you have an existing client, are you transitioning them over to the other GL, or are you just bringing on new clients and putting them into the new GL that you're trying, the AI GL?
well, I'll go first. It depends, as always. New clients, we use digits. Just like if somebody came to us, I always feel you can't chase two rabbits and catch either one. So when Xero came out, I thought, do I want to learn Xero? Now, is Xero a bad product? Absolutely not. But I couldn't be good at QuickBooks and be good at Xero. I decided to be good at QuickBooks. So I'm already great at QuickBooks. So now I want to transition to Puzzle. So if they're already using QuickBooks and they're frustrated and I think they can make the switch, I say, you know, we're going to move you to Puzzle. This morning with my computer guy, I said, you know, I want to switch you over to to digits. Oh, whatever you think, Debbie. That's what I think.
Yep.
You know, because they trust us, and I know his business and I know his books. This new one that came in after he left, you know, I'm putting her on digits. So you're slowly putting it over. So it's the new people.
Transitioning everybody over.
Right. Now, the other thing you could do, I've heard this idea, is that you start a new company that now you're only AI native software.
Right.
You know, so you keep the old ones and then the new ones. But is it scary? Absolutely. It's new, different. Remember when you learned how to ride a bike? You didn't know how to do that either. You know.
Well, it's new, and it's you know, I'm going to ask the question to you, Matt. So the same question, but then I'll tack on to the end of it. Are you sharing financials or access to Puzzle with your client? So I'll just leave the question with you, Matt.
So I'll start by answering that one. Yeah. I mean, yes, if it's their financials, I learned this from QuickBooks. I even just told QuickBooks last week, I do not accept their pricing and pass it through to my client. I make my client sign up for QuickBooks pricing, because in 6 years I've been in this business, QuickBooks pricing has tripled. And guess what? Puzzle, digits, they're all going to triple their pricing at some point. So I would rather my client.
So should we.
I could not agree more.
Yeah.
I mean, those people that are still charging $500 a month that was low when I started this business. That was probably low 5 years before I started this business. Like, one of the things that I think we in this industry have to do is set the standard for what our value is, not let our low ball client set the value for what we're doing. Be willing to turn away somebody that says, you know what, I could get somebody to do this for $200 a month. Great. Go get them to
Okay,
do it for
yeah.
$200 a month. Call me in 6 months when they screw it up, and then we'll bring
Yeah.
you back up to market at 800. Like, to me, that's just fine. I helped one of our franchisees earlier this week with a new business, and he goes, I found this cheap bookkeeper, and I can't file my taxes this year. I had to file an extension. I'm not sure what I'm going to be filing. Can you help? And I'm like, look, our pricing starts at, like, for you, probably $2,500 a month. He goes, I don't care. That's what I need. It's time for me to start paying for value. And we said, okay. So already signed up super quick. It was a 24-hour turn on a sale. But going back to your AI, let me preface this. I know Digits very well. We just transitioned one of our sales guys over to Digits. I know Puzzle very well. We use Rillet internally. It is our accounting software. And none of them are that great yet.
Mhm.
They're all
I
improving.
think that's fair.
Yeah. Like, QuickBooks fundamentally is a better accounting software. And I think you could probably argue that QuickBooks Desktop is actually a better accounting software than QuickBooks Online. Guess what? Small business owners don't care about accounting software. We are the ones that get to tell them, what they pay you for is an output. Get me what I need when I need it. They don't care how you get there. They don't care how we talk about it. They just want to know what their output is. And these AI native softwares are getting to a point of being able to provide that at a better, cheaper way. And we've been searching for better, cheaper since the cloud. The cloud came, and then, what QuickBooks' greatest value that is still a gap that the Digits, the Puzzles, the Rillets have is its integration layer. The
Mhm.
fact that QuickBooks integrates with so many products is actually its single greatest value. And that just takes time for the rest of these software companies to build up. And so that's where, when Deb says, like, it depends, it kind of depends on the stuff that they care about. Nobody actually cares about their accounting software. They care about how are they making money. So if they have an invoicing software, how are they getting
Mhm.
paid and paying their bills? How are they paying payroll? If all of those things that actually operate their business on a day-to-day don't integrate into a ledger, you don't want to put them on there, and they're not going to want to go on there. That's
Right.
what they care about more than anything. And it was actually one of the biggest problems that I had with the kind of original Digits model, which was this all-encompassing, we'll build a bill pay, they thought about payroll, we're doing all of this. And it's like, great, I can get my client to switch ledgers. I'm not sure I can get them to switch bill pay and ledger and payroll all at once. Like, that's not a sale. That's a barrier to entry I don't want to have happen. And so as we look at and continually evaluate these softwares, it depends. I would say that most of our clients are still going on QuickBooks. I would say that we very much have sold our puzzle book to one of our franchisees, and they love it. It's great for small cash basis businesses. Like, it works really well with simple integration points. I think Digits kind of still fits that mold. Like, they're not great ledgers. And so when you have classes or any type of, like, really complicated FCW, then, like, you need more, and QuickBooks still has more, or Xero still has more. So
You
to
make me
me,
wanna
that's kind of how. Oh, go
ask
ahead.
a question. I want to dive into this. So, if you're saying that there's some things about QuickBooks that are still at the moment better, um, what's the draw to an AIGL?
It's the
I
future.
think it I'm not sure I agree with that statement. It should be the future, I think, is the real statement. The problem is QuickBooks, with an 80% entrenched market share, I'm not entirely sure that these companies will be able to crack that enough to continue. But I am pretty sure that Xero will buy the first one and QuickBooks will buy the second one. And
Mhm.
I hope both of them make it. But what I am sure of is that this use of AI needs to continue to happen. What I'm finding is that QuickBooks, they come out with AI features, they're really bad. But actually the single most important announcement QuickBooks has made that actually interests me is that you can now use Claude to build your own agents and your own AI workflows on top of QuickBooks. It means I don't have to rely on them building it, but I can do it because we've used Claude, we've used Gemini, and we've used ChatGPT, and we are very much Claude only now. We've found that as a business use case, Anthropic is building a better like business tooling. And so I think that the fact that we can build on top of their platform is what's really, really interesting. Now, my job is to help make it easy for other firms to do this work. That is what my skill set is. I don't think that most firms will be able to build their own Claude agents on top of QuickBooks. That might be a bridge too far for most small accounting firms who are underwater and overworked and trying to figure out how to stay afloat. And so that's where I do think that hoping that the digits and the puzzles will each get there. My other big problem with these companies, and I know both the founders, I very much like them. They are each 3 to 4 years removed from their latest funding round. That is a slight problem, not from
Well,
like they'll still be in business,
Yeah.
but from a where are they going in that next phase?
I think that, if we look at AI in general in the stock market, it's one of those that there was a huge amount of investment and then now it's kind of stalled. So where's the return?
100%.
I think that a lot of us are seeing some of these AI businesses actually being acquired, assimilated because of that very funding issue that you're talking about right now. And the development has gotten to a point that everybody wants to develop. So they're pouring a lot of money into development, but the development itself is actually getting cheaper and cheaper. It's just the
Oh, yeah.
amount of it is huge.
Well, and that's
What?
also like I brought up earlier, we use Rillet internally, and we're starting to work with our franchisees to start deploying it with clients. You view that as more of a NetSuite competitor and Sage Intacct competitor. I find that they've been funded more recently. They have a much more narrow scope. I like one of the tough things that we all deal with and the businesses in our space struggle with too is SMBs are hard client bases because our biggest churn factor is actually they go out of business slash financially struggle as a company. That's even harder for the technology providers. And so when you look at people that are going up market, it has a tendency to have stability of client base, which I think is also really an interesting thing to consider.
All right, Deborah, I know you're chomping at the bit. Go.
She kept leaning in. She was ready.
I
I
was
was trying
listening.
to talk
I'm thinking to
faster than
myself, that
usual.
guy's brilliant. I mean, what can I say to add to that? And I think, I look at it from like the smaller practitioner angle. I want to I don't want accounting to be hard for us or the business owner. And I think
see that.
sometimes QuickBooks, I love it, makes it difficult. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. I know Sasan stood on stage at Connect and said he wanted to be all things to all people. And I thought, I just don't want one GL product to handle everything. I like the fact that there's like with digits, you can use Bill and the stuff starts coming in. And Matt, you're right. They do have better integrations with more products with QuickBooks, but I think they're coming for the integration with Puzzle and digits. So like bill pay, I like to use best of breed. So I know I like to use Bill for bill pay. I like ADP for payroll. Now I can use them both with QuickBooks or digits, but I'm just, what's the GL product that I want? And I want to spend my time not entering transactions and getting frustrated because something's cracked in QuickBooks again. The bank feeds don't work. One of the big pluses to me is Digits uses Plaid to connect to the bank. It doesn't crack. I bank at the Space Coast Credit Union. Every single day, it cracks where I have to write, can you get this fixed? Can you get this fixed? My Digits connection never breaks because I run my firm both on Digits and QuickBooks because I like to see, okay, who's winning? Where am I spending less time running my firm? And I find that Digits is winning. Just like when QuickBooks Online came out, I ran my firm on desktop and QBO. And I thought this QBO thing is really pretty cool. So now I'm kind of doing the same. And there's things I don't like about Digits, and things I love about QuickBooks, but I don't like everything about Hal, you know. So,
How is her husband, y'all?
but I think, well, I like enough that I keep him around.
So you make me want to like ask a question. So whenever you think about things you like about QuickBooks, things you like about the AIGLs, Digits, the one that you're using, my thought is when I look at the AIGLs from a productivity perspective, it's so much faster.
Mm-hmm.
It's just faster. And I
And
think
what do
that's
clients
the big
want? They
win.
want what the numbers mean. Like Matt said, they don't care
No.
how long it took you to do something, what GL product you use. What are they paying for? They're paying for the advice of their books. What are they seeing? In the olden days, when we had, green ledger sheets, they were paying for us to put that in there. That's no more. The AI takes care of the drudgery. So what does it mean? So if you're stuck in I like to enter the data so then I know it's 1000% right all the time, because AI will make mistakes. Well, you'll make mistakes too, trying to enter it all by yourself. It gets more right than not. And then you look at it and make a decision. Well, that was incorrect. Let me ask the question. So, but what does it mean? What is the business owner want? That's what I think a lot of us miss, especially with value pricing. I hear that all the time. Well, what's value? Value is what someone's willing to pay for something. It's not what you think it's worth. It's what they think it's worth. So you have to learn, if you value price, to turn what it is they want into a value that you can quantify. Like if they want to go to Disney once a month, well, how much would that cost? If they want to do this, okay, we can get your books to do this, your business, you can go to Disney. So now your value is creating the value that they want to buy. So that's what value pricing is, that's value pricing. So what are the questions you need to ask the client so you can give them what they want to pay for? And it has nothing to do with the software.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause right there, and I'm gonna throw this question to both of you. What do you think the client is actually valuing?
And then I have a question for you, Liz, after they answer that.
Okay.
I'll let Matt go. You hogged all the time. Go ahead.
Companies want to pay their bills, they want to get paid, and they want to track it all when they have it. And
Exactly.
where they're getting to more and more is they want somebody that can help them go beyond survival.
Yes.
Accountants right now help businesses survive, and they want somebody to help them improve. They want to help them reach that next level, that next stage. That's what advising is. And that's what they want. Like, they do not care about. So Decimal, we have 1,000 clients, and we run open reports on who opens their reporting every month. Under 30% of my clients open their P&L balance sheet.
They don't read it. They don't read
Out of those, less than 30% of those have them open for more than 3 minutes. So like, I have thousands of clients. We've dealt with thousands of businesses. Most people aren't reading it because they don't understand it. They don't want to. They're cash flow businesses. And that you can have a $10 million bank account business where they are measuring their success based on their bank account, what's in there, what they know is coming out, what they know is going in. So that's what they truly want. And, to me, I want to give two quick counterpoints to something Deb said earlier. And I don't know if it's counterpoints, but like just things that I think are important for us to understand. Number one, I've got over 100 employees. They make mistakes every single day. I make tons of mistakes, more than they do, every single day. Don't expect AI to be more perfect than that.
Right.
And too many accountants use perfection as their determining factor. And that's like, you're setting a standard higher than what you have today. How does that even make sense? Number two is, small firms, I do not think, should test these AI ledgers very much. And here's why. A small firm should have a workflow system that makes work easier to do and more effective. And I can have a puzzle team, I can have a QuickBooks team, I can have a Xero team. But guess what? I have everybody using Double as my workflow management system. And then we've built technology on top of it to make the work easier. If you have one or two people, you don't have enough for a QuickBooks team and a Digits team and a puzzle team and a Xero team. You need that workflow is more important because it's the switching costs that are the silent killer in this business.
Yes. That's why I said you can't chase two rabbits and catch either one.
Unless you have two guns.
So you're no, Um, not going down that rabbit hole. I just told my brain no. So the $2,500 entry point for your clients, Matt, what is it that is attracting them? So what's the value prop for them?
So we do have an essentials offer that is 900, but most of our clients are paying 2,500 and above. They are getting weekly, monthly meetings if they need it. We are helping them look forward. We're doing variance analysis reporting. We're doing KPI analysis reporting. We're also in the business doing bill pay, expenses. Like we've got Ramp as many places as possible to help them with their expense reporting. We'll help process payroll. We are operationally focused first and accounting focused second. The accounting is a endpoint for operational processes. So we start with operations and help them become that operational side of their business. And then we do the accounting as a byproduct and then help them look forward as number 3. But we're dealing with much bigger, more mature businesses.
Yeah, mine
All
are,
right.
mine are small, Larry, the landscape guy.
Yes. And I
We
like
like
Larry
our
after he's been
Larrys.
acquired by private equity.
Yeah. I think that, you know, people like you ask what business owners want. I think they want answers
Yes.
to 5 questions.
Okay.
How much cash is in the bank?
Mhm.
Who do I owe money to? Who owes me money? Make sure
Fair.
my people get paid on time. And what's my tax bill at the end of the year? Those
Okay.
are the 5 questions they want to know the answers to. I know we spend hours getting perfect profit and loss statements. And like Matt said, no one reads them. And we talk to them about, well, let's go over your profit and loss and your gross margin. They have no clue what those words mean any more than I know what my lab report from my doctor means. That's my lab. That's my blood work. I
Feed
go,
it
I don't
into
know what
Chat
I'm looking at.
GPT. It's
Yeah,
fascinating.
exactly.
Well, exactly. But I pay the
Don't be
doctor to tell
concerned,
me.
ChatGPT.
Well, you know, so we need to talk to them in their language about what is it they want and what are the numbers showing us. You all can read a financial statement and tell what you're looking at, and ask, you know, find out what they want and say, here's what I see. I don't think we're going to be able to meet the goal you wanted to set based on what I'm seeing here. Here's my recommendation. It's up to them to do it. Just like my doctor tells me, Debbie, if you want to lose weight, stop eating so much. Well, you know, and I go back the next year, you didn't stop eating so much, did you? No, you know, so we tell them what to do. If they do it, great, but we're there holding their hand the whole time and answering those questions.
They want, I mean, from my experience of, you know, been in the industry for 30 years, what, you know, clients want to know that that part of their business is taken care of.
Yes.
They
Safe.
want to know that somebody has reconciled the bank accounts. They want to know that their bills are being paid on time. And like you said, Deborah, that, you know, that their employees are being paid on time and that they're not going to get a penalty in the mail. I mean, that's really what they're looking for. You know, you're right. Only about 30% of clients in my, you know, in my experience were the ones that really leaned in and wanted to have those conversations on how to build their business. Really talking about the end goal of where they're going with their business. And, you know, certainly there were clients that we weren't having those conversations until we brought it up. And then all of a sudden a light bulb went off and they became those clients. That is a real thing. But only at a certain point in the business life cycle, because as Matt said, up until that point where that switch goes off, all they're worried about is making payroll that week and being able to put food on their table and be able to make sure that their doors are open the next day. That's where they are. And they are trying to get out of that. So if you can prove to them that you have a clear path to help them reach that level, right, where they're not worrying about making payroll every week, they're going to listen.
Yes.
So
And the AI tools make
that's what I was about to
our
ask.
job easier.
So
Yes.
that's what I wanted. Let me frame up that question because I think that that's the 5 things that you pointed out, are you using AI to help you deliver those to your clients?
Yeah, I mean, well, a lot of the AI is built into the tools. I mean, even if you use QuickBooks Bill Pay, you can, you put the bill in the thing and it reads it. That means I don't have to do a lot of that. I just upload the bill. It's reading the stuff. So I like that. I like the reporting of AI, like like the one about the sales tax. I like asking questions, like if you get a new client and you're not quite understanding stuff, like a lot of sales tax issues I deal with. What is taxable, what is not. It will go out to the state and give you the chapter and verse of what is. So I use AI a lot for that. And then, how do I fill out the DR-15? That's the Florida State Sales Tax Report, correctly when they have, beer, wine, and liquor and amusement sales and all of that. Which lines does everything? I know that, but I mean, you can ask AI that, it will come back and tell you. So I just find the tool it's fun. I mean, I just find it fun.
It takes the heart out of it. In my opinion, it takes the heart out of it. So, and what I mean by that
The
is
hard, you mean HARD, not the heart.
Not the heart.
HAR.
Yeah.
No, not the heart. No, I get
The
to put my
hard.
heart into it because the heart is taking it out.
Yeah, it's not hard anymore. It's fun.
Right.
I'm just going to
So-
let us move on here.
No, wait, but I want to ask the same question to you, Matt, but I'll form it differently. So with this idea of what the client deliverable is, the value of what it is that you're offering the client, where are you pulling in AI? And I know that you're a Claude user and you were even talking about Claude in QBO. So you want to talk about like what you're doing in that space? Is that part of your client delivery?
Not yet. And
Okay.
and here's why. What I'm focused on right now is creating space. So we have a 3-step fundamental delivery model that hasn't changed since we started pre-AI. And that is put a good foundational layer of technology down and let it do as much work as possible. Step 2 is put an outsourced team in the Philippines. Above that, let them do as much work as possible. And step 3 is put our US staff in a position to manage relationships and do final quality and let them do that as much as humanly possible. And so where we are is looking at each kind of phase of that pyramid and saying, how do we create space? How do we get technology to take off of the team in the Philippines? How do we get the team in the Philippines to take more off of the US team? And how do we use that to allow our US team to have the time to do all the stuff that we're already doing, but better? And so to me, I don't actually think that clients care one way or the other if you're using AI to provide an output to them.
I agree with
What
that.
they want to know is, do you care? Like that client relationship, that's trust, that's credibility, that's all the stuff that is purely human. And so what I want to do is make sure that I get the purely human as much as possible from my team. And so I'm trying to pull work down. And I mentioned earlier that switching costs are the silent killer in this business. I think so is inconsistency of data and workflow. So what we're doing is when a new client comes in, we have agents making sure that our documentation is standardized and that we have everything we need so that the team below them can get all the work done. We have AI agents running in QuickBooks to make sure that our US team is not doing the work because we find that accountants can sometimes struggle to hold on to work and not delegate as much as they need to. So for me, that's what we're using AI for, is to make it easier to do the work and then holding our teams and our franchises, our firms accountable to doing that. And so to me, that is what's really important. And Yvonne just asked a question. We have our own company in the Philippines, and later this year, we'll actually start selling and helping other people staff there, because what we found in staffing in other countries, doesn't matter, Philippines, Central, South America, India, all over the place. It's as much training US people to work with
Mhm.
outsourced staff,
I agree
AI,
with that.
as it is training that staff or that AI to work with the US people. We are in a mass retraining phase of this industry, period. Hard stop. Like that is what we are really talking about, or that's what we're really all doing, but nobody's talking about. is we've entered a phase of retraining the entire workforce that will continue for about another decade.
The whole
And
profession is
I would
changing.
just,
The whole
I-
everything. So if
we're
you're
also in a,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry, Deb. Go ahead and finish.
Well, if you're stuck doing the things you've always done, you're going to get left in the dust.
There's a better way to do it.
But
And-
I think that Matt's correct. This is a relationship business.
100%.
So now AI gives us the time to develop the relationship with the client. So we're not behind the screen, making sure that all the, the number, the debits and the credits equal. We're out there helping them, do what they want to do. It's the relationship that matters.
And
let me give
What-
one other
what-
thing here. So, sorry.
that's
one
okay.
other
I would
thing-
just, oh, go ahead.
One other thing really quickly. I'm a recovering attorney. I have lots of firms that run 1-2 person firms that are making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. It is a profession that people are making money running small firms. Accountants should be able to do that. Accountants need more training, go through more certifications. You have more continuing education than I need. This is about also leveling up the compensation that bookkeepers, that accountants should and can be making, because
Yes.
it's removing the low level tasking. Sorry, Heather, I totally interrupted you like 3 times.
It's okay. I mean, and this totally drives into the point that I was going to make, is that you said that we're in a mass like retraining phase of the profession, but it's not just the accountants, it's the clients.
Yes.
Right. So we have trained clients to perceive what we do as a low value
Yes.
activity based on compliance, based on putting things into a computer. And so one of the biggest struggles that we're trying to undo now, yes, we need to get paid more, right? We need to pay our people, but we need to get paid more. And that is a big change that we're trying to make. And you talk about the innovation curve, where you have the early adopters, and then you have the innovators, the early adopters, the late adopters, and the laggards. Well, I feel like where we're going with the value proposition of the profession is exactly the same way, especially in the SMB space, right? Is that
Yeah.
we're at this innovation area. We've got this little chasm. We need to jump it to get to the early adopters, and we're almost there where the general market sees the value that we do, that understands that our expertise and our value has nothing to do with us clicking on a keyboard. It has to do with our
Yes.
experience, our business, acumen, and all the other wonderful skills we have related to every area of a business, not just the numbers, but operations, technology,
Yep.
people
Yes.
skills, communications, risk management. There's so much that we do that we never got paid for in the past.
Right.
We only got paid for that piece of paper that had the income and expenses on it and a tax return. And
And they
all
don't
of the
care
other
about that.
stuff is where the value is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a smile
Draw-
curve.
Draw boundaries too. They
Yes.
want help with an audit, pay for it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they got to pay for it.
You
But
want a
that's-
bank to help you get your financials, pay for it.
But we didn't do that for how many
I know.
years? And
Right.
so
Hundreds.
trying
Forever
to
years.
change that narrative in the public, and for the clients is
Yeah.
the big challenge. And that's what we're seeing our members at Woodard and the profession struggle with, is trying to change that narrative, because the clients keep pushing back on price because that's what they're used to. They don't
That's what they
understand.
know, because that's what we taught them.
Exactly.
So we have to keep changing I didn't know you did that as an accountant. Do you tell them you can do these things for them? If you're not telling them, how will they know? So you have to be talking with your clients, developing that relationship. Let the AI take care of the drudgery stuff.
Yeah.
So you're not, I remember, I know, they don't care that you reconcile the bank. They don't. They never wake up in the middle of the night and say, gee, I wonder if Debbie reconciled my bank account.
But they care when you find a bank error.
They
And I
do.
think that's the
So
thing
when you-
that I tell people all the time.
Yes.
You need to keep a diary of every penny
Right.
that you save a client throughout the year. If you find a
Yeah.
discount, they didn't take it. You need
Right.
to put that somewhere in your CRM to say, I saved them $1,500
Right.
during this
Remind them every
conversation."
time you talk to them of it.
Every
Yes.
time.
I
Yes.
agree with that. I agree
Gee,
with
I
that.
couldn't help but notice you paid this vendor 2 times. Let's get the money back.
Somebody told me
So-
if a
Realize
tree
I just
falls
saved
in the
you.
yeah. Somebody told me if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, does it make a sound? I don't care. I tell my team, make a sound every time
Yeah,
you
make
talk
a
to them.
sound.
Make a sound.
100%.
Make a sound.
Right.
So making the sound, I
I
feel like that
we are
is.
like way off of AI, and this is awesome.
No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not. And here's the-
AI
I'll
allows
tell
us to
you.
make the sound.
Let me bring it back as to why I believe that we're right on track. Is that we have never had the ability to do all of the things that we needed to do in order to make this profession work well. That is why I think and believe so much in AI, is that it can finally help to make the work faster, make our team members more productive, and then allow them to have the space to have those conversations with the clients. Because both of you, what you said was what the client values is, I think, the accountability. So here's what's happening in your business. Here's what we're seeing. Now the client can go and do something about it. And so I feel like the next wave of accountant is really the accountability partner. It's like, here's what we're seeing from all of the data. Now go do something about it. And we're going to hold you to it. We're going to have accountability metrics. Did you do anything with that? Because over here in the background is where, our AI GLs are going to be running all of our data analysis, all of our agents, whatever it is that you've got running in AI is going to be happening automatically. So now how do you manage the client, I think, is what the real value is.
It's a
I
people
couldn't
skill.
agree more.
You have to really get good at people skills.
You do. You do.
It's
And you
the
need
coaching.
tools.
It's
Yeah.
the coaching
It's-
for sure. Telling this is the next step that you should take. And if you take it, then it's going to move the rock to this level and we can talk about what's next. And
Right.
that's really what they need.
You know,
You want to scare the heck out of the profession? The next generation of successful accountants are technologists and people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
Without a doubt, Matt.
storytellers.
Storytellers.
Yeah.
If you could tell
I-
a story for their financials so you can make their dreams happen,
Yeah, you've got me.
you'll be rich like me.
I sh-
I learned how
right,
to do that in the very beginning. I mean, it makes all the difference.
I'm going to say we're coming up at the end of the hour. So here's my big question to each of you. Why have you invested so heavily in AI?
Why have we?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
fun. I think it keeps me young. I'm always looking, if I get bored, I want something new to look at. And when
What
I
about
saw-
if you're talking to another accountant and you're saying, and they're like, oh, I don't know if it's worth the investment. What are you saying to them?
I yell at them. I mean, you know how I am. I go, what do you mean it's not worth the investment? I'm going to leave you in the dust. I mean,
All right, Matt, are you yelling at him? What are you saying?
well, I do it with kindness. You know that.
Always.
I want to make more money and do less work.
Yes.
Quite frankly, and I want to. My goal is to start 1,000 firms where people are making more money and doing less work. And if we're going to do that, then we need to use every single tool at our disposal, and we need to test new ones. We need to try new ones. We need to implement what works. We need to constantly evolve.
Yes.
I will never forget in 2019 when I first got into this industry, I took my co-founder, who's our CTO, to a talk. It was 200 accountants. This is 2019. And the talk was about how the cloud is coming. And my co-founder looked at me and he goes, they do know it was here and it came like 8 years ago, right? And I said, yes, this is the industry we're about to spend 10 years in. And we can't do that with AI. It is moving too fast. It is getting better too quickly. And so to me, this is about how do we help people work less and make more money?
I agree
I'm
with
fully
It's not
pragmatic.
necessarily make more money. I mean, money is an offshoot of doing what you love.
Yeah.
So,
you could
if
work
you wanted
less,
to
make
make
the
a lot
same
of
money.
money, you could be a drug dealer or work in a topless bar.
that.
So, I just
don't
want
think
to
they'd
know
like that if
what
I
kind of
did
life
that.
do you want to live? You know, can we do that? And like workflow and less friction.
I'm just glad I didn't say the most inappropriate things today, and this is amazing me.
No, I
No.
did.
If I were to place a bet on who would have said the most inappropriate thing, I would have won. Sorry.
Yes.
Or, I don't
Yes.
even sorry, Deb. We know.
I'm
we
never
know.
betting against Deb ever again.
Ever. So I go back to my I think accountants spend they're 120% capacity all the time. And I want AI to help us get to that 80. And that allows us to have that 20% so that way we can continue to be inventive. We can continue to have those aha moments because when we're operating at 120%, we don't have time for anything new.
Nope.
And the fun gets sucked right out of it.
Yep.
So I have one last question. We have 5 minutes, and I have one last question, which I think that is a really important one. It is, you know, AI, the development in AI is moving so fast. It's moving so fast. We have new tools coming into the market, leaving the market. Everything is in a constant state of flux. So it's kind of like when you're going surfing and you have to find that just the right moment to catch the wave, right? Or it goes over you, right? Or you go under, you know? So what would you say to accounting firms that are feeling like, I just don't know when to get on that surfboard?
Just get on it. You'll fall off. Get on it again. You'll fall off and you get on it
Right.
again.
Yeah.
I keep falling off. I mean, every time I wake up in the morning, there's something new. I thought, oh, I wish I'd known that. But you start with one thing and stop listening to all the noise. Just do one thing. That's it. You know, open it. If you don't have a chat, you know, write in Chat GPT. Tell me, you know, just come up with something. I use Chat GPT. It's my boyfriend. I mean, tell me about the movie that I'm watching and it'll come up with the whole thing. I mean, start using it and you go, wow, this is fun. Hal the other day, who's Mr. Dinosaur, you know, he said, you know, I used that GPT thing you keep talking about. Yeah. What'd you do? I asked it what the stock value price was back on whatever day it was the lady died. It told me the answer. Wow, good for you. Because, you know, they're afraid of it. He doesn't know what it is. Of course, my friend Donna says, well, you know, he could have looked it up. They have it all over the internet. I said, don't tell him that. He's finally using the GPT thing, you know. So just start and, you know, stop worrying about that you're far behind because the minute you start, you're ahead of a lot of other people.
Love
That's
it.
right.
Love it.
The minute you start, you're ahead of other people.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
I'm going to
do you feel?
reiterate what Deb said. You eat an elephant one bite at a time.
Right.
Like this isn't a hop on a surfboard type moment. This is you're at the bottom of a staircase, take one step. Find one area of your firm that you think you could test and try it on. It could be writing emails. It could
Mhm.
be writing LinkedIn content. It could be looking at a couple of clients' reports to see if there's any variance analysis. It could be any number of things. Your firm is not one thing. It is a compilation of thousands of things. Pick one, test and try, then pick the next one. Do it one step at a time.
Right.
This is not a one jump does it all. This is a take one step, but do that. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid. Take that first step. What I found with a lot of people, the easiest way to start, and my wife is an attorney and she does not like technology, and I made her just start talking to her phone. And I attached Chat GPT to it. And so now she talks to her phone frequently. And it now helps her with work. It helps her with other stuff. Like, stop thinking of it as a type thing, just talk to it. I talk to it all the time. And that's also a good kind of approachable way to do it. If you want to laugh about it, there's a great South Park episode about how terrible Chat GPT is. If you've never seen it, it's totally worth watching.
It is.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Hilarious.
anyway, like laugh about it. You're gonna screw it up. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna make mistakes. Guess what? So do you. Like just
Mhm.
take one step at a time.
One
Love
step
it.
at a time.
One
I
step
love
at a
that.
time.
I love this conversation. We're going to keep having these kinds of conversations. So continue to join us. We've got a lineup that is going to be really fun. So the 24th of this month, App Vendentory is going to come join us. If you haven't heard of them, come check them out because they help a lot of accounting firms just like us to be able to work with their clients, to be able to look at what subscriptions they've got, what apps they've got, the headcount. They also do a lot in the space of which apps to recommend. So if you are an app consultant, they do a lot of app comparison. So there's a whole lot of things that App Vendentory does So they're pretty cool. On the 14th of April, we're not going to have Appy Hour. It's the day before tax day. We're off. So the 28th of April, we're going to be doing a AI showcase with Aider. So they do a lot of in the space of AI reporting. They've got a lot of cool things they're going to come show us. And then on May 12th, we're going to be unpacking AI in tax prep. So everybody's really curious what's happening in that tax prep space with AI. So come check that out. And everyone, I appreciate you joining us today. I absolutely love the conversation between Matt and Deborah.
It was great.
Very fun.
I mean, he's pretty
Yeah.
smart. I mean, I don't know if I like being on a panel with him because he just sounds so good.
Are you kidding me? All anybody's going to remember is what you said today.
I tell you what, I'm listening to you going, oh man,
Well, Heather, I think that means that you and I are really smart and we did a good job.
you did.
Yeah, really excited. Thank you guys so much for spending the afternoon with us. And we're excited. And for everybody who's going to Scaling New Heights, Deb and Matt and Liz are going to be on the main stage on Monday morning talking about AI in their firm. So there's going to be a lot more of this coming. So really excited about that. And yeah, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
It was
you all.
fun.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.